How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing?
All right, there we go.
Yep, audio's good.
All right, there we go. Nice,
No
nice.
audio. We need audio. No audio.
Oh, it echoed for a second there, so it must. Oh, it's actually coming through mine. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't have it muted on my side. Yo, what's up, Max? Bill, I seen you in there. Corbin, I appreciate you coming through. Bill Nye, always supporting Sysgerm. Yeah, still looking clean, I appreciate you guys. You're awesome. Let's see, Mr. Cooley, that's a new name. W, hey guys, what's up? You guys, so welcome to the second episode of our podcast. We are still trying to figure everything out, getting the layout of the land, but we gathered a bunch of stories together that we've been talking about privately in the Discord, or just some interesting stories. I'm sure you guys must have heard about, like, the whole Pentagon incident. We're gonna dive and jump in a little deeper, kind of see what was going on. I heard a couple different accounts of it, so we'll try to kind of get to the bottom of it. So we got Matzi over here, blue team guy. If you guys didn't know, red team. Red team. Yo, what up, James Randolph? Oh, it's awesome seeing that name in there. But yeah, so we're going to jump into these topics, and then a little bit later on, we have a guest from a friendly Discord over with the Sasquatch crew, Styx. He managed to reverse engineer his pool, like, as weird as that sounds, but it's actually kind of crazy, the different things that we found out. There are definitely some vulnerabilities. They definitely tried at least to do their due diligence to be somewhat secure, but everything can be broken. All right. Matzi is going to be going over some of his blue team stuff that he's been building. You guys know I love using PowerShell for absolutely everything. I'm straight red team though. It's hard to support this man sometimes, but I got to. He's my dude. And he's been jumping in, diving in, learning PowerShell, and he's been building some really cool tools for blue team side. But the coolest part about that is I get to see what he's doing and then learn how to attack better.
Yeah.
So if you want to start off, you want to share some of that?
Yeah. So some of the stuff I've been doing really took inspiration from some of Jacoby's work, specifically with the PowerShell for hackers. The smart pool does sound cool, actually. That's going to be a cool one. It's actually kind of got caught up on it just prior to starting it, but it's some really cool stuff. But looking over at Jacoby's PowerShell for hackers kind of gave me inspiration behind it. You know, when he first put it out, it was a really cool collection of it. I wasn't really into PowerShell. I haven't really done much programming prior to all this. So jumping into PowerShell, just kind of seeing some of the stuff he built and how useful it is with some of the different payloads. And with me being blue team, and a lot of the systems we're working on around Windows-based, AD type systems, tools that are natively PowerShell have a lot of power, especially for blue team. Red team especially, they love to utilize the stuff that's naturally there, the whole Lobins.
Yeah.
Lobins
Living off the land binaries.
Yeah.
That's the best.
But, so I've been coming together with a couple tools that will hopefully aid defenders who are in environments that are a little more locked down, something a little native. Let's see, we'd love to listen to this podcasting. So yeah, we'll be here. We'll be here every week. And yes, we will be keeping the videos on the channel afterwards. So
correct.
Built out these tools.
Eventually expanding to other platforms. Now this is the first time both him and I have pursued something like a podcast, so we have to learn how the other platforms work, because I've never even experimented with them. But we will be branching out to some of the other platforms and uploading his videos, that way you guys can watch them later. How does hack? Quick one real quick. Like I said, guys, we're still kind of adjusting, getting some things fixed up. Yo, Matzi, how do I get the chat up here? Where's that chat box link?
We needed to regenerate once you go into the active stream, and then let me pull the instructions again. While I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and keep telling you guys about it. So a lot of what I've been working on is the idea of using tools like PowerShell to build the ability to collect IOCs, generate those, and check reputation stuff using VirusTotal, all from your command line, just from PowerShell. Mostly because that data then can, anybody who's worked with PowerShell knows that your data that's returned is actually still an object. So you have the ability to take that data, run that reputation, pipe that into other tools, and start working with that in other different ways. Another thing I've been doing is an automated IOC collection module. pass it a file, it's able to pull through using regex queries. It's able to pull certain things.
Speaking of the regex queries, actually, so if you see on the screen right here, I did one stream with Mr. PowerShell. If you guys saw that like a week ago, we were supposed to do another one last night, but we had to kind of get everything here set up. Now, Mr. PowerShell he's a guy that was around when PowerShell was first created. Like, he was there with when it first started. He worked at Microsoft, worked on PowerShell, helped it to become a thing. I managed to cross paths with him, and even though we both have different end goals, he uses more of an administrative purpose, and obviously I'm for hacking, but the kind of shared love of PowerShell did kind of bring us together. And I got to tell you that this is one of the most underrated programmers in existence. Now, again, his stuff isn't necessarily aimed at hackers, but as hackers, you can look at almost anything and learn how to use it for yourself. When he's talking about doing all these regex queries, that's doing very specific searches on patterns of words or structures to find specific information, whether it be like IP addresses or certain API keys or whatever else. Mr. PowerShell actually made this module right here called a regular. And I think the catchline is, making regular expressions made strangely simple. He has like the biggest regex library that I've pretty much ever seen. Like I said, you can look up like IP addresses, phone numbers, but he breaks it down so far that he's got regex expressions for phone numbers from different countries, So IP addresses from different countries, phone numbers from different countries, names, emails, different types of emails, Gmail, Yahoo, whatever, API keys. So I'm definitely going to be going through here and doing a bunch of pull requests for any other regex expressions that I could find useful. And again, any of them that we find useful as hackers, again, IP addresses, API keys, you know how we can use that to our advantage. So this repository is definitely one to check out. He's got modules. You can use PowerShell to control OBS, to do advanced animations over your screen on OBS. I'm going to be using it to make some more like flashy, those 90s style payloads where like stuff's popping all over the screen and your information's popping up. That's what I'll be using it for. But again, it's the tooling that he's made. You can choose how you use it, which is so cool. And he's just done so much. It's honestly insane. He's so underrated. 252 followers. His repositories are just like criminally underrated. Like, it's actually insane that I get called like the king of PowerShell on occasion. I know I'm like specialized in PowerShell, but I would literally take my crown off and toss it at this dude like any day. Like, I don't even deserve to touch this dude. He is so good with PowerShell. It's insane. So I've been learning a lot recently. So the payloads that you guys are going to be seeing coming out are just going to be on an absolute another level. Matsu, you want to jump back into that? I just wanted to kind of split off because he is building his programs based off this regex library, which is just so fucking magical. Because if you know, regex is a pain. Coming up with those regex expressions yourself is a pain. Food for thought. But go ahead, Matsu.
Yeah, so the regex I've got set up right now is specifically for IPv4 patterns. Right now I'm currently working with a giant list actually from Mr. PowerShell's repo as well, involving some of his API key regex strings. The plan right now, the tool is very simplistic, but start integrating more of that stuff for collection purposes. The idea is just take that, throw it in your profile, and whatever other modules you have, whether it be from the red team side or the blue team side, you have these native tools that you've custom built into your terminal. You get to make your tool as your own home and everything within your own PowerShell module, custom fit to exactly how you like it. So you can take my code, modify it however you feel like it. If you want it displayed or typed out in a specific way, you can by all means modify that in your profile to see exactly what you're building and working with.
So to give you guys an example of that, because Matsu's got a brilliant mind for the blue team side, which it's just something that doesn't super interest me. I like learning it because I learned how to navigate around it, but I want to kind of show you an example of the tooling that I've made, and then I haven't put it together for him yet to make it as easily accessible, but this is the same thing that we want to try to apply as well. Blue team side's voice is a bit low. I can adjust that. Let me go ahead and talk real quick, Matsu.
test.
Okay, I'm gonna move that up just a smidge. Go ahead, chat for a sec.
What was it?
Go ahead and chat for a sec.
Yeah. I know, working on these Redx strings and everything, it's trying to pipe that in. There are a couple other projects that, if we have time later, we can start covering. They're very much still in the skeleton phase of it, but the hope is to expand out from some of that stuff, build stuff that is native. Yeah, much better.
Oh, that's much better? Okay, cool. So just an example of tooling. So if you guys have been following me for long enough, you know that I made a bunch of functions, the PowerShell for Hackers series. You know, I got different things. You know, one of them that I use that you guys are probably seeing a lot is I have my base64 function, right? So base64 encode string start calc. If I run this, it gives me the base64 encoded version of it. Now, I found out a way to make a little bit more advanced tooling recently, and that's what's inspired me to, I'm building a kind of a red team framework for PowerShell, but not for post exploitation. It's for pre-exploitation, setting things up, also kind of a learning environment. So one of the advanced techniques that I learned is, instead of actually having to type out the whole command and, you know, using a function, whatever else it is, I can just do something like start notepad, and I found out how to grab what was currently inside of the buffer, and then I can run functions on it with key presses. So like if I do Alt E on that, it automatically converts it to base64, and then if you have base64, it'll convert it back. Another version of that, I have anti-alias and auto-alias. You know, if you're using these in PowerShell, if you do Alt-A, it'll convert it to invoke web request, the full version. And if you have the full version and you use it, it'll convert it down to the shortest iterable variation of the alias, in case you're trying to make these fit into the run box or whatever. But these are the kind of toolings that I'm making on the red team side. So basically, whenever you hear what he is currently talking about as well, these are the kind of tooling frameworks that we're going to be building. So when he's talking about, you know, monitoring different directories, like we wrote a little script so you can monitor a certain directory to see if an exe is dropped into it. For the most part, you should never have an exe in your temp directory. So that's a little catch. And, you know, as people, all of us using bad USB as much as we do, you know how much we like to send stuff straight to the temp directory. Even though there's another one in straight in C, you can go to straight C temp instead, or you can go to the app data folder, in which case is a lot harder to monitor, but the default has just become sending it to the temp directory. But anybody that's smart will be monitoring it, like Matzi is going to be doing. It's pretty cool that I started out making this thinking it was just going to be red team, thinking I was just going to be making this, you know, pre-side tooling for red team. But seeing the stuff that Matzi's incorporating, we might be able to make something a little bit more encompassing. So essentially, once we build this tooling, we haven't figured out exactly how we do it, whether we're going to do like a, you know, git pull, or if I'll make it a huge module that you just pull down. It's not decided yet, but eventually you'll be able to pull it down and you'll have all this different tooling, you know, the base64. I also have it also like automatically reverse searches IP addresses as well. So if I put an IP address in here and I hit Control Shift K, it would give me your latitude, your longitude, the city you live in, the state you live in, the country you live in. We have a URL shortener. That's a website we have. It shortens URLs, but it also shortens webhooks, and that's the important thing. Whenever we're trying to make our payloads fit in the run box, which is 259 characters, a Discord webhook is 123 characters. There's no Discord webhook shortening services right now, so we literally made one ourselves. So if you just put the website, 301 is for URLs, 307 is for webhooks, and I hit Alt-U, I believe. Yeah, Alt-U. We have a service that'll generate short links for you. Now we have to do a little rerouting, so it automatically goes to HTTP, so we can cut this off right here. But yeah, you can just generate short links, or generate short links for URLs or webhooks directly from the terminal. And like, this is just the beginning of the tooling. Like, this is probably one out of at least 50 things that I've made in just the last, I'll say 2 months, maybe a month and a half. And now it's even better because I've started to bring people in. If you guys aren't in the Discord, make sure you join the Discord. We have a hidden PowerShell category, and we have a hidden web dev category for people who are interested in joining and participating in some of these bigger projects that we're doing, again, either regarding PowerShell or whether we're doing web dev for specifically, like, you know, this website right here. Just grab that real quick. Yeah, so this is the actual website. So you can actually just come here and do it. 301 for URL, 307 for a webhook, and you can shorten it from here. There's a couple of other ways to do it. I of course prefer, you know, PowerShell, so I went ahead and made like a little mini module to make that happen. Yo, what's up, Peaks?
Yeah, so what's the advantage? I know you mentioned the shortening and everything. How long, if I do a custom API, how long is that going to last?
So right now we're kind of working on how the backend works. You can't see it right here. There's actually a hidden login. We're making it so you can log in with GitHub and authenticate your account. That way you can keep track of your URLs. But then to take it a step further, we're taking the analytics that we collect, like, you know, what country the people are from. So we're going to give you a more of an advanced look at analytics, something similar to compare it to. I don't know why you look up Rebrandly. It's the fourth thing there. It's whatever. It auto logs in. Oh no, it doesn't. Let me take that off screen 1 sec. Alright, so Rebrandly is what I'm currently using, you guys, to track my payloads, my debugger. Fun fact, you guys can put emotes inside of URLs, by the way, if you didn't know that. Very strange. There's some very interesting behavior, and I have some payloads. No, I'll share those later. But yeah, so you can click on any one of these. It'll open up a map. This shows where people used my payloads, the percentage of them, when they used them, types of clicks, whatever else, so you can keep statistics on the different links. We have this working on the back end. Again, you can't currently see it here, but when you make an account, you'll have access to those kind of analytics for the different URLs or short links or your webhooks or whatever else you make. And then you could also delete them, set kill time so they burn after a day, 2 days, a week, month, whatever else. So that's pretty much how we have it laid out currently.
You did say the tracking. What all is tracked in that? I know you do that for like payload statistics and everything, but what all is captured? And how is that?
What all is captured? It's pretty much it's everything that's like in an HTML header. Like that's it. That's pretty much. It's the same thing that goes with everything. You'll get an IP address that you can resolve. Pretty much, it's literally pretty much what you can resolve from an HTTP header. That's pretty much it. Pretty much the same things you see here. You'll be able to see, like, you know, their operating system, their agent, you know what I mean? But the same thing, that's just whatever's displayed. Your browser, aka your agent, it's pretty much always PowerShell. Sometimes these open up like the rickrolls in the browser or whatever. Almost always desktop, obviously. Apparently some people have tried to run my payloads on their phone. I applaud you for your aspiration. That was not going to work, but good job. You can look at countries, you know, Poland and France, bro. Poland and France, like, they rep me like none other. It was Russia for a while and I was a little nervous, but then Poland and France, they swooped in.
I'll actually tell you, Poland, for those who don't know, when I was in the military, that was a place I was actually stationed at for a while. Poland's got a really big hacker community. That was one of the cool things. In the US, the idea of hacker spaces are kind of, I don't want to say they're losing momentum, but they're not what they used to be. In Poland, they are still alive and running very, very heavily. Like, there are communities based entirely still around the hacker space being kind of the home for them all. So it's a really cool thing to see. Poland is one of those bigger in the hacker communities.
Oh, well, that's kind of... So I'm actually adopted. Fun fact, if you guys didn't know that. One of the few things that I know about myself, or like my heritage or whatever it is, Jarkobi, oh my god, Hayes, is I'm Polish. I'm Polish, that's all I know.
Same here.
Well, I'm Polish and I think it was Italian, I think, or something like that. I don't know, but I'm mostly Polish. But that's an interesting fact that all these hackers are from Poland. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna close these ones out for now. Again, you guys should check out this repository. It's insane. Or a repository, his just page in general for all his repositories. All of these are just insane. PowerShell SVG creation, PowerShell AI, PowerShell to control an Elgato Steam Deck. It's just insane. But I kind of this video right here was sent to me, and this is the most encompassing video I've seen the entire time on the topic. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. If you guys can go ahead and let me know what the volume's like. This is a loud gentleman. He's very passionate, but I'm not even gonna lie, I've heard nobody, he has no tech background, I don't think, but I haven't heard anybody explain the situation better. So we'll go and watch this, and then I just kind of want to hear, what you guys think about it. Why is it always basically the exact same person every time that gets caught? But yeah, so let's go and run through this.
My brain's gonna explode. That's the only way I can react to this news right now. Okay? Do you remember during last month, we all sat through that TikTok committee hearing and we just heard about how...
Can you guys hear that? Oh, he's very on point. Oh, yeah, you watch it. Can you guys hear that audio that was up until that point? It's capturing from my desktop correctly. Yep, perfect. Okay, cool. And then, so also switch to full share. Yep, there we go.
They were grilling the TikTok CEO and they were screaming at him that it was all Chinese spyware and they're gonna steal our information. While that was happening last month, documents from the Pentagon were being leaked online from January until very recently, and we had no idea where the documents were coming from. There were members of the Department of Defense thinking this was a high-level member of the bureaucracy that was being blackmailed, maybe somebody who was being paid off, all these different things. And we finally have the answer, and it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It was a Discord server. It was a Minecraft Discord server. Hundreds of documents putting our entire spy network at risk. And it was not TikTok. It was a Discord server where people discuss Minecraft and share racist memes called Thug Shaker Central. It was full of a bunch of teenagers. And one teenager was a 21-year-old guy named Jack Texiera, and Jack posted on there trying to get clout. Jack posted, all you guys are nothing but a bunch of betas. I have high-level military clearance. And somebody replied, no you don't, you cuck. So Jack started posting pictures of Ukrainian battle plans, lists of spies all over the world.
Cosmo, chill out.
Helping America. Oh my God. He didn't do this for political reasons. He didn't do this for an ideology. He did this because he's fucking sad and had access because he works in IT. And everyone in our government's so old, no one thought, don't give the 21-year-old guy who's on Discord servers all day access to the United States worldwide intel network. Now, we're gonna have to sit through a House committee of new congressmen and senators sitting there with their questions for the CEO of Discord. They're gonna have to say things like, I see on Discord you have a thing called Discord kittens. Tell me, does Uru mean good thing, yes or no? That's what we're gonna have to answer. There's gonna be a member of Congress who's going to have to ask the question. We were reading through the chat logs here, and it says, Tracer Rule 34 Futa. I was gonna try to look that up on my phone, but my intern knocked my phone out of my hand. Is that part of the Chinese spy network? I'm dead serious.
I hope we hear Congressman saying "ooh, please, please."
I just want to hear Discord
kittens. Advancing faster than they ever have. We have members of Congress who are older than television.
Older than television.
Bro,
Wow.
I'm not even gonna lie. You guys, I cried the first time I watched that. And the insane thing is literally everything he said was true. All right, this is a 22-year-old kid. He was stationed at a base where they flew drones out of, right? So you have to get a secret clearance. I don't know how high his level was. I know that like when I first joined the military, I went up to a battalion level. I had to get my secret clearance just for that, and then I got a top secret clearance a little bit later. But I don't want to say they just hand them out because it's not 100% true, but it's not exactly super hard to get one. I mean, obviously you got to pass a background check or whatever, but most kids joining out of high school, they have no history. They've never done anything. There's not going to be anything on the background. So of course you're going to pass the background check. So it's these like 19 and 22-year-old kids that just have no concept of like, oh, I fucked up. And yeah, they do something. This kid, it wasn't a political reason, nothing. No. He got in an argument with these kids in Discord. He just got in an argument with them. He got called a cuck. They called him They called him a cuck, and he's like, you know how I'm gonna respond to this? Here is detailed battle plans for Ukraine over the next 2 weeks. This is why I'm not a cuck. This proves that I don't let guys sleep with my wife.
I double dog dare you.
Here's battle plans. I double dog dare you. That's insane. This kid, you don't understand. You guys. I know that if you guys aren't military or you didn't grow up with a military family or something, if you guys don't know, he is very realistically and likely, potentially, to face the death penalty. He's in the military. That's treason.
This UCMJ.
Treason in the military is punishable by death. He might die over flexing in a Discord Minecraft server to a bunch of kids, and then I don't know if you guys saw the replies, like after he posted them, nobody believed him. Like it didn't even work. It's not even like he was like, oh, I won this argument.
One of the replies was literally just lol.
Yeah, just lol. That's it. And that's what he did it for. He got his moment when someone's like lol, and he's like, yeah, I got him. And now he's gonna spend a very long time in prison at minimum, and they might put him to death for treason. So that's just absolutely insane. It's almost always some kid. That's the thing though, as you guys kind of begin to progress and you learn more, one of the things that you're going to realize eventually is that almost everything is hackable, and that's not necessarily the hard part. The hard part is just not getting caught. That's why you see these kids getting busted all these time, these 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. It's not because for some reason we have a bunch of super genius 16-year-olds. Yeah, they're smart. They got caught up pretty quick. They just didn't care about repercussions or didn't think about them. Anybody that's a little bit older, that has any bit of experience, you wouldn't do something like that. Like, there's just no way. You gotta imagine, you guys, those documents probably have like hidden signatures in them, and bro, there's no way it would have never got traced exactly back to that guy.
See, the issue is like, it's being mentioned here, you've mentioned it, like people were going a little extreme in Discords. I mean, a little while back we had the guy who was on 4chan, talking shit and everything, but they're putting a lot of weight on things like, in Minecraft and trying to like play it off. Like that stuff is not like you're expecting some heavy loads from stuff like that. Like those things aren't working anymore. They're admitting to like full on fucking crimes in Minecraft, thinking that's gonna get away with it. Like no.
In all places you could commit to a crime.
Exactly.
In fucking Minecraft, bro.
Hey, but your Discord kitten, she saw it, and that's all that matters.
She saw it. She's like, oh my god, I'm so proud of you. Like,
yeah,
oh my god.
They failed that twice too. So like you're saying, yikes, where's the chain of custody for the leaked data? They failed that twice. So they apparently knew that he had it on him for like, I don't want to say it was a full 24 hours, but they knew it had it on him for like a day before they went and retrieved it. Oh yeah, that is indeed Styx. Yeah. What up, Sasquatch? Yeah, so at some point, we'll probably go over this this next little story, but after that, Styx hit me up well, it was a couple days ago. It was kind of showing me something he was working on, and it's kind of progressed over the last 2 days. And it's honestly potentially scary. There was a little bit of resolve at the end, with a little bit of saving grace, but the process of going through and finding out what we did was pretty insane and can still be used like for pretty nefarious purposes. So yeah, this Pentagon leak, it's like, I don't even know what else to say. That it's pure stupidity. It wasn't a super hack. It wasn't a state agency. No fucking APTs, nothing like that. Just some dumbass kid flexing. And then so right here, Matsi, you were reading through this a little bit more, yeah?
Yeah.
So you want to talk about this a little bit?
Yeah, so this kind of crazy to me. So, as you guys probably heard a little earlier this year, Raid Forums actually started getting into some legal issues, started being pulled down. The main admin of the site actually got arrested back in January. They started coming through that data, obviously, started pulling everything down and figuring it out. So now they've taken that data and have actually started like picking out people who were core members of this. Yeah, the Dutch police have started sending people letters basically saying, hey, we know who you are. We know what you've done. Like, delete it, because we're going to come after you. This is your early warning. Like, delete it now, and it won't be as bad when we get you. Like, if you don't have anything, there's not much we can do. But it's...
They were actually... they were straight up saying, just, essentially destroy the evidence. Like, essentially, these cops aren't going to be able to go after everyone. Like, it's impractical, like, how many people would have been using these services or whatever. So, what they did was smart. They got a hold of the members, and instead, they just messaged them individually, told them, like, their names, things about them, and they're like, we just want you to know that you're not as anonymous as you think. You probably shouldn't do this anymore. Just destroy whatever you have and stop doing it. Which, honestly, like, if we're going to be completely honest, right, there's always, like, that weirdly super politically correctly right way, and then there's the real right way. That was the real right way to do it. That was, honestly, I'm impressed by the government on that one. Because, they couldn't go after everyone. They could have tried to, be like, oh, tough, oh, we're going to destroy you all, and then you would have just egged them on. You know what I mean? It would just, like, stir up the hornet's nest. But instead, to sit there and try to psychologically play on them and, just try to instill that fear in enough of them that they don't ever try to do it again, that's still a win for them. That's a big fucking win for them. And it's smart. Like, I can't even... I wish some other... we'll say, for example, I wish some other companies, maybe one, for example, that makes pool controls, I wish they put as much effort into securing and, making sure their community is safe. So we have on here, he doesn't have a cam on currently. One thing we're going to be doing is adding more scenes where we'll have 3 and 4 cameras. We'll have to get rid of the chat. Chat's not up currently. We'll have to get that working, but we'll have 3 and 4 cameras so we can bring on 1 or 2 guests. Right now, though, in the background, we have Styx. Styx is from the Sasquatch Discord server. Talking Sasquatch is currently in chat right now, one of our mods. Styx came to me with this a couple days ago. If you want, I will pull up my Discord. Do you want me to pull up those documentation that you sent me?
Yeah, can we share the link?
Yeah, I can go over it too, and kind of the story behind it. Kind of context for people. It's an actual real pool. It's not bait. It's the real deal. However, our pump and our heater broke, so we got new ones put in, and of course they were smart, just fucking cuz. And with that came a controller, and they were like, "Oh hey, it has all this smart stuff. You can use an app. This is super cool. It's gonna simplify your life." And I'm like, "Cool." They're like, "Connect it to your network," and I'm like, "Huh?"
Yeah, so real quick, guys, this is what it is. He's got one of these Pentair boxes. I believe is this the correct one right here? The Intella Connect pool control system?
Yeah, the Intella Connect one, yeah.
Yeah, so he's
Stocks in this man's pool.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. When you guys see what you can do with this, it could get worse, and we're looking into it, but essentially, This is the control that he has for his pool that controls a couple things in it. And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I noticed when I connected it to my network, the app was making a request locally to the controller. It wasn't making a request to the cloud. It would only make a request to the cloud when it couldn't find a controller on the local network. Cosmo, I saw what you did there. But anyway, I was like, what? Why is this local? Why? I started digging more, and I just found the API just sitting completely open with authentication that was in plain text.
That's okay. That alone, we could literally end the story right there and just be like, Jesus Christ, what a breach! What a breach! Just But go ahead, just keep going because it's ridiculous.
It gets worse. It gets worse. So, this normally would have been an issue. Oh my gosh, plain text. Weird pool Chinese companies not doing their security right. Oh no, whatever will we do? Whatever. However, this API had a lot of things exposed, so I can get the status of the pool, so like the pH level, the temperature, the pump status, the heater status, the chlorinator status, everything about the pool I can see. Now, this by itself isn't necessarily dangerous. However, there is a endpoint that is meant to be secure, but is not secure, called Operations. Operations does all the fun stuff. Turns on the pumps, turns off the pumps, turns on the heater, all that fun stuff.
The chlorine.
The chlorine, yeah, it also controls that. And Jacoby, would you like to tell them what we found about the secret header that you need to pass in order for this endpoint to work on top of the authentication key?
Okay, it was ridiculous. So one, you can only have 5 devices like hooked up to the system at a time, right? So it was a matter of identifying the devices. And so he's only got one hooked up currently. So we're like, what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at it. I know it's gonna be hard with just one, but we're gonna see if there's any sort of pattern recognition. And he's got one thing hooked up to it. Remember, just one thing hooked up to it. We go and we look at the device ID, and the device ID is 1, which means there's 4 other devices potentially, and they're just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they can be accessed just by that, and there can only ever be 5. Again, just to be clear, there can only ever be 5. But it's just a quick query, and you could see if they have pumps connected, LEDs. There's a bunch of different random hookups that people can get set with their pool now, but you can have it 5 connected with them at a time, and then once you know what 5 are connected, the API is open, so then you can then check the status of each one of those devices. Sorry about that, guys. Now, where this gets absolutely ridiculous, and I don't know how much you guys know about this, but again, he said he can control the temperature of the pool. He can control whether the filter is on. He can control the chlorine, what would you call it? Injector, chlorine setter, whatever it
Chlorinator.
is. Chlorinator. Yeah, there we go. Chlorinator, right? So he can control all of those. So hypothetically, what would happen if the chlorinator was left on, the filter was turned off, and the heat was turned all the way up? If you guys don't know what happens to chlorine when it's superheated underwater,
It's not good.
It's
I will read.
it's chlorine gas. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and read that off.
Yeah, so Jacoby had the bright idea to say, why not ask a super smart AI, aka ChatGPT, that's way smarter than all of this chemistry. So this is the response that ChatGPT gave us. If a pool is filled with excessive amounts of chlorine and superheated, it could potentially create a hazardous environment. Excessive chlorine levels can cause skin and eye irritation, respiratory problems, and other health issues. In addition, if the chlorine level is too high, it could cause the water to become acidic, which can damage the pool's infrastructure and equipment. Superheating the pool can also create additional hazards. the water could become scalding hot, potentially causing burns to swimmers. It can also create steam that could be harmful to breathe in, leading to respiratory problems. In extreme cases, the combination of excessive chlorine levels and superheating could even create a dangerous chemical reaction. For example, when chlorine is exposed to high temperatures, it can produce toxic gases such as chlorine gas, which is extremely dangerous and can be deadly if inhaled in high concentrations.
Correct. And then real quick, just to address them, 100% regulations means pools and hot tubs can only go to something like 100 to plus or minus that, 100%. So there's a little bit extra on top of that. The pumps on these are can be different depending, right? So on his, for example, there are 2 different pumps. And I don't remember exactly how you described it earlier, but essentially only one of those pumps can be on at a time. And if they're not doing what they're supposed to do or in sync, those pumps will then cause the pool to flood over. So all that chlorine is going to end up on top of the hot asphalt or whatever it is that you like. I don't want to dox his pool, but all of that like heavy chlorine, especially because it's going to go into the filter, and the filter is where it's going to poof out, aka where the chlorine concentration is. It'll be on top of the thing. And, go ahead.
Most heaters have 2 outputs. So one output for the spawn line, one
That's what it was.
output for the pool return line. Usually the pool return line is always active no matter what, and the spa line is only active if you have a spa hot tub. So if someone were to turn on the spa line remotely and you didn't have it properly returning back to your pool, which we do, it would flood everything. Scalding hot water would come out and just spray out of the unit.
Scalding hot chlorinated water onto the hot
because it
pavement.
goes through the flow is filter, chlorinator, heater, pool.
I appreciate you, Karina. So I have
cool.
I have some of that. I have that message that you just read off showed. And I'm gonna pull this to the side. If I remember correctly, there's nothing in the JSON data, right? Like, it's just it's just status. Status. It's got the version.
Yeah. Here, let me remove the my street name, and then you can scroll up and show everybody.
Remove your what?
My street names in the JSON data. I removed it. You can scroll up and show.
Oh, I see. You just switched it. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is what it returns. This is an open API, right? Open API. Just
for the most
free
part.
out there. So it'll give you the name of the swimming pool, and then again, this is data, so this is going to be the first object, and the ID is just 1, like we were telling you. So when there's the 5 different objects, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some suppose floating point without change state. No. Okay, I should clarify. I really shouldn't have used the word superheating. That's not what superheating is. I use that in a completely wrong context. If you have more of a chem science lab background, superheating means something very, very specific.
I should mention,
and that's not it.
This API was hit while they were still setting things up. I discovered this while they were plugging things in.
I gotcha.
So that's why the heater says it isn't connected.
Oh, right, yeah, currently here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it gives you, it'll give you the status per ID per device connected to it. Again, there can only be 5, so it's easy to iterate through them. But yeah, these are the different statuses: chlorinator running, the product ID, the probes, what the current pH levels are. Even if it didn't get, let's say, hot enough, which that's just like a oh shit, like that's like a worst case scenario. The conditions would have to be right. What if it's a cool day? What if somehow their pool all goes downhill, so the water keeps running? All kinds of things that could factor into it. But at minimum, it's going to cause thousands of dollars of damage to your pool. It will destroy multiple systems that are connected. The acidity of it will destroy it.
Do you want me to
go ahead?
Show the remember we figured out how to send a command to it. Do you want me to show that?
Yeah, actually, you should. Let me think. If you share your screen, I should be able to let you take over Matzi, and then Matzi has a full cam.
Yeah.
So if you share, do you want to share your screen and do that?
Yeah.
Okay. He wanted to go a step further. It wasn't enough that we just learned that you could do this, right? He had to see if he actually could do this. So in about 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, I don't know, he just sat down, wrote a quick Python script, and he's automated the process of discovering the pool. Now, we can't go into super detail right now because we don't exactly have all the details ourselves, but we do think that there is a way that you can essentially go around, it's still war driving, but like pool war driving? You can go pool war driving, you can drive around and identify these pools. And if you just wanted to be like an agent of chaos, you know, you could destroy.
I'm streaming.
War swimming. I'm here for it. Yeah. Okay. When we make a video on it, appreciate you, Corbin. I'll give you credit. Yeah, that man's getting. You're getting royalties for that one.
I'm streaming. Stream by the way.
Okay, so let me. I'm gonna pop
Gotta
this
get to the-
back down. I'm gonna pop this back down so you guys will see that there.
Well, you're getting that set up. Just for you guys who don't know, locking that down is not a hard thing. There are products like XPack, which are made by the same guys from Elastic. You can integrate that into the RESTful API and actually add authentication to those sorts of things for your communication with very little, work whatsoever. It's a free package, apt install, XPack comes ready to go. You can sit there and configure that for it, but first they messed up with the open access points and everything, but they really messed up with the way that they're handling it.
If you see in the notes, that access point for the pool is default to open, and the access point name starts with Pentar, and then I think it's 4 random numbers.
See, if they hadn't,
ours was Pentar like 4219 or something.
Well, I bet that was probably the last for the serial too.
Yeah, I can go. I should go check. I'm gonna go see if that's.
So if we didn't have a name already picked out, I was gonna suggest shaking a sticks at Pintar.
Okay, go ahead. Should I run it, Jacoby?
One second. Why is it showing?
No, just saying it's showing that broken link we were testing. Damage to your I mean, even the high concentration of chlorine alone to the skin, once you get in there and you get a certain level, that's, I mean...
There's a certain level you're supposed to keep chlorine in pools, or else you have risk.
Geneva Convention, hot tubs and spas. Hey, it's not a war crime the first time.
Yeah, Corbin makes a very good point. There are some pools that have metal liners. Well, not metal liners, but stuff that's composed of metal, and splashing the highly acidic stuff on it can cause a lot of damage, and even leak in some cases, if not designed properly. Yeah, Corbin. Hope.
Alright, they should have you should have that full screen now.
Okay.
There it is.
So the pool sends out a ping every 30 seconds, letting the network know of its existence. I'm assuming this is the this is just how the app tries to find the pool. It waits for 30 seconds. But yeah, so here we go.
Discovering pool, and again, 30-second window in between each ping. Way faster with Wi-Fi networks. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it is. Watch us fail live on stream.
Yeah, the metal chairs.
Swimming in pool.
That's actually a great message for it.
Wonder if it would melt your poolside loungers.
Oh, this is gonna show the IP. Oh well.
Pool found.
Just
Public or private?
No, it's local. It's local.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's local. You can just switch it.
Drowning swimmers.
Oh, no, this is nutty. Honestly.
Yeah, that's exact. Okay, so that's the thing. That's the other thing we were talking about. So the same people that would be vulnerable for something like this, they're probably the same people that have like web-based cams in their house. Fucking Wi-Fi cameras. So if you're on the network and you have access to one thing, you probably have access to those as well. So what if it happened to people while they're on vacation? Well, if you're sitting there monitoring, you learn when they're in and out. You see them packing up. It looks like they're gonna be gone for a weekend. That's exactly the point. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
As you guys will see, response 200 OK.
Yeah, yeah. So if you guys look at that up here, so he went through. He has a discovering. We'll go and connect to the pool. It gets validated. We had to pass something extra in the header. I don't know if you decided if you wanted to say that or not.
It's the device ID.
Yeah, you literally just pass the device ID in with the header as well.
So you
to validate
the JWT, and then you add the device ID at the end of the JWT, and then re-encapsulate it.
Correct. Attempts to connect to each of the devices, and then you see here at the bottom that he did decide to try the filter command. He turned it on. We were in a call together earlier, so he went ahead and flipped on his video. I'm not going to tell you what movie character he looks exactly like.
Stop!
But yeah. He went out there and we watched the filter turn on. So he had control of it. There are some safeguards in place that they did manage, but they're not super great. And we just kind of started diving heavier into this literally this morning because we had a breakthrough. So we're going to be looking into this way more, but it's just an interesting concept to think about because there are so many of these different companies and just everything else that, they're making these products, but they have no IT background. And it's just so fucking common. They have no IT background at all. And even people that have IT backgrounds often have no concept of cybersecurity. So they're like, you got like the 6 access, you're never farther away than 6 people from someone. They're like 2 full people away. Too many turn on for maintenance people to fix, then you're looking at resource management who gets things fixed first. The potential chaos is interesting. The pool puns will never end. Jesus Christ. I don't even mind. Don't even mind. But
I want to try something. You know how we couldn't get past those safeties?
Yeah, yep.
I want to try something very dumb. I appended. I'm not gonna tell you. I appended something to the end of the JWT again. I'm gonna try.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking the whole time.
I'm gonna try sending I'm gonna try sending a chlorinator command. All right, guys. If this works, this is gonna be
They have a little bit of safety controls. Can we update firmware though? I imagine if it gets to their attention.
yeah.
Or you could with enough dedication manually, but
yeah.
there are a little safeguards on Make It Play Doom. God damn it. There are safeguards on a couple things. You don't exactly have direct.
Corbin.
Yeah, there is a touch screen, so that's very possible.
If you wanna figure out how to hack the firmware, more power to you. Okay.
I'd love to see a hot tub that plays Doom.
All right, here we go.
I don't mean to make it safe. I mean to all. Oh, James wants to take it the next step further.
I'll catch you,
wait.
Cosmo.
Hold on.
Rick roll the device.
I need to change something here. I sleep for 30 seconds just to...
Hot Tub Doom Machine. That's one of my favorite movies.
Speaking of movies.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of movies, you guys, if you're interested, tomorrow night, we probably should... We're going to post the time right after this, because we're going to sit down and lock it out. We want to try to make it so we have some of our European guys come through, and they're 7 hours ahead of us. But it just depends. But tomorrow night, we're gonna have a Discord movie night. We're gonna watch The Princess Bride. That is literally my probably #1 favorite movie. But it's something we used to do a few times. We got a little separated, but it's something we're gonna be bringing back. It was probably one of my favorite things that we used to do over the last couple of months was just our movie nights, as you wish. Yeah. So So actually, that was the last tattoo I got, Karina. I have "As You Wish" tattooed like
Oh my god.
right
Look
above
at what
my stomach.
Look at what Peaks type.
Yeah.
Plus creating
Creating
mustard.
mustard,
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to see some of these. Some of them are like drowning swimmers. There's other like
Yeah.
piss detected.
This is like something you do to your Sims, you know? Take the ladder out, fucking turn the filter off, up the chlorine, up the heat. Just cook your Sim in chlorine gas.
Yeah, that's what I was
In
thinking,
my
Shane.
listen, we almost can't even. You guys, we might have to retire that. Okay, so if you
Yeah.
guys aren't in on the disc, if you guys aren't in on like the inside joke or whatever, you know, we obviously when we're talking about certain things, it's funny, haha, is the feds listening?
Oh my
So
God.
to save ourselves,
Jacoby.
holy
Holy
shit,
shit.
nuh-uh.
Oh my god.
No
What did you
fucking
do?
way. No
It worked.
fucking way. He turned the chlorinator on.
Yeah, I know. I get that. What did he add? He made a change. He
Oh,
said he
he-
couldn't bypass the
yeah.
security.
Oh, send it in a message. I'll keep Discord off screen.
There is. Oh my god. So when I was examining, because I was looking back at the requests
viewers, that's
that
a joke
the app
dot com.
make,
No
There's a-
fucking way, bro.
there's a header called "No Security."
Oh, you gotta be.
That's a
fucking
true.
kidding me.
Please, no, you're lying. Please. Please, you're lying.
Hey guys, from the blue team,
Oh
the
my
quickest
God.
way to null and void your security is that right there. Don't do that. Just, it's probably a bad
security.
idea to do that.
No security. I'll post it.
Oh my fucking god.
That is great.
That's insane. We've been messing with that like all day. We were trying to get everything ready for this, but then we're excited about that. You know, that just happens.
You
Um,
literally header value.
Are you sharing it on your screen?
No, I put it in a chat.
Oh, you put in in Discord. Okay.
Mhm.
Let me peek that.
Not my password.txt.
Let me peek that.
No security, true. That is.
Oh, get out of here, bro.
This is running on the RESTful API, correct?
This is latest firmware, by the way.
I have a permit. I can do what I want. Yeah.
I'm actively composing an
Okay,
email. to
this is
Contact right
literally
now.
this is the digital version of walking into wherever you want with a ladder. That's insane.
Oh, I'm gonna have to write a strongly worded email to Pentar, aren't I?
Yeah, okay, we need to get this written up. We need to get this completely written up. That is so cool. Digital
Yeah,
guy with a
no.
clipboard, yeah. He's
Yeah.
just a digital guy with a clipboard, yeah. That's fucking insane.
This is
so
this
okay,
is probably an accident here, because with all the security we ran into when initially trying it, this is most likely an accident, but a very big one.
well, we're gonna dive into that maybe like after the podcast.
Yeah,
'cause
but
we need to dive in way deeper on that. That's insane. That's crazy.
So I do have some questions about that if you're willing to talk about
Yeah,
kind
go
of the
for it.
process they're working on. So, when you first got a hold of it and everything, started playing with the API, what did you do to start enumerate that to figure out what options were available there?
I used a man in the middle certificate chain on my phone, so I was able to monitor the requests that the app was making to the server. And basically, I just went and clicked buttons, random buttons, just to see what it was doing.
That's awesome. That is actually like
Ah.
super cool.
It's not that hard to set up nowadays. You download the certificate. Start Sasquatch's message.
Yeah, I saw that.
Alright, here we go.
Guys, just add security off and done.
That's
Not my job. That's
Um,
wild.
But yeah, it's just so easy to man in the middle things nowadays. If you know what you're doing and the app isn't properly sending its request, there are apps that will tell the phone not to expose the request. The phone system will handle that. But some apps just literally don't care.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. All right, so I want to show you guys something that I've been working on. It's gonna be a little sneak peek. This is probably gonna be one of the next videos. There's some little things I want to tweak. Something I want to keep you in. I want you to keep in mind when I show you this is I made this within the first 2 hours of owning this device. Within the first 2 hours of owning this device, this way that I'm going to show you is a proof of concept, and it's not the super practical way. But then I found something that's fucking insane, and I need to get some people to help me reverse engineer this executable because I need to see what's going on underneath. So I'll show you the way that I did it in the first 2 hours when I was just trying to throw something together to prove that it was possible. So let me wipe this off real quick. I'm probably gonna get up. I'm gonna take it off this time. It's so much easier. So in order for this to work, you have to use something like Rubber Ducky, OMG Plug, or Flipper for some of you guys to set up the attack, right? So you set up the attack with one of those devices like normal. Now, what I did is let's see if this shows up. I wonder how, okay, the latency isn't too bad. I can see my arm. Oh yeah, that's not bad. All right, so yeah, I got that. Oh, it's green light scanning me. So I just set that as my low home screen. You tap it once, it'll play the little animation, which is really hard to tell. I'm gonna tap here. We get to look at my different payloads. There's a test one just for calculator. We'll run it. And then if you're looking at my desktop right now, it just popped up on my desktop. So I set up initial access using any one of the HID attack devices. I was using the plug at the time. Once you set it up with there, what I did is I combined using Dropbox, which is why this is just for demo proof of concept purposes initially. I used Dropbox and then I used IFTTT. I basically combined those together, and whenever I press that button on my watch, what it does is it creates a folder in the Dropbox directory, in a folder called button, and then the file has one of my payloads inside of it. You know how my payloads are plug and play, so it's like IWR, the URL, IEX. The file contains one of those URLs, depending on what button I press. And then as soon as Dropbox, I use that watcher. Remember I told you guys that thing we were talking about with Mati, use it to watch like your temp directory to see if people put an executable in there. I use that instead to watch that Dropbox directory to see if a file showed up. If the file showed up, it would grab the contents of it and execute it. So it executes whatever I press on my watch. Now, that's just a proof of concept and not completely practical unless you plan on logging into your own Dropbox account on your target's computer. Maybe if you have their login credentials, I guess, you could play off that, but it's still not the most practical. Now, what I did end up finding, and this is actually disgusting, I actually feel gross about this. This right here, this is this is an application that you can install on your computer that a guy made specifically as a sysadmin. Again, this is why sysadmin should at least have a security plus, otherwise they create ungodly powerful tools on accident. So this is Trigger Command Agent. It is so you can run batch commands from your watch directly on the system, right? So as soon as this is installed and it does not get detected, it flags nothing. As soon as it's installed, I have a direct connection with my watch, without using Dropbox or whatever. So it's nuts. So we're going to be putting a team together of guys. We're going to try to break this apart and see what we can find, because this guy accidentally made something like ridiculous. Now, he sort of seemed like, I guess he was trying, because you can't actually use the word PowerShell. Yeah, Rat initially meant remote administration tool. Exactly. So he tried a little bit, it seems, because you're not allowed to use the word PowerShell. But I don't know if it would shock you guys to hear this. There's other ways to call PowerShell without using those letters in that exact order. Yeah.
Wow.
No way this can go wrong. Exactly. No way. But yeah, so and then I won't talk about it too much, but Corbin, that technique that we were using, eventually I guess it'll come to light, I imagine at some point. But Corbin and I've been playing with something for a while that lets you upload these as binaries and execute them without touching memory in like sub 4 seconds, the entire binary of this, and executing it without touching memory. So this can be installed with a rubber ducky in just seconds, and then I have control of my watch, which is just extra. But the thing that's cool about it is, if you want to use it against, there's different ways to utilize these kinds of tools, right? Again, you can use this as an offensive tool, right? As in, you have control over someone's computer. But let's say hypothetically, you were the Dread Pirate Roberts, and you're sitting in a library, and the FBI is sitting around you. They pretend to argue as a couple. You look away. They grab your laptop. You're like, oh fuck, With the watch, after you run something like that on the computer, I can make it so if my arm goes below my waist, the computer locks. Or there's other gesture controls, or there's voice commands, so, hey, put your hands up. Delete everything, please, right now, bitch. Boom, gone.
By the motherboard.
You know what I mean? Yeah, whatever crazy safeguards you have in place. But it's just cool that, or even on a job, even on a pen testing job, maybe you can't have your phone out to trigger whatever payload you have. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe you can't do anything, right? Maybe all you can do is maybe you're not allowed to talk in the room that you go in. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? But you got gesture controls, or if you're only able to talk, you're not allowed to move. Like they're like, hey, you got to place your hands here, watch this. You can talk, whatever. I know those are weird scenarios, but it's just cool that you can use this to cover all those scenarios. Like, I get that they're rare, but it's only one device. It's one device that you can just have on you all the time. This is a Galaxy 5?
What?
Not Pro. Set your trigger to my hands are up. Exactly. See, Sasquatch, 2 million IQ. My hands are up. Boom. Hard drive wiped. Gone.
Perk the MBR.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Or me personally, so I a while ago I was working on a payload that I called the Dread Pirate Robert protocol, right? And it's a payload that came up that hypothetically would have saved him, right? So if he had the OMG device plugged into his laptop, which is allowed to look for different Wi-Fi networks or check if you're connected, I made a payload that made it so if the OMG device didn't detect that network anymore, it would just automatically lock. There was two. There was a soft lock and a hard lock. Soft lock, just Windows L, right? Which would have been a pain in the ass for them. There's a reason they distracted him and grabbed his laptop while it was open. So it would do something. Imagine they probably still eventually, do their work or whatever. But then I was looking into using different things to encrypt the drive, right? And, there's a couple of different things that you can do. But I found this GitHub repo. This repo was called ACDix. It was called ACDix. It deleted everything in your entire system and then replaced everything with, guess what? ACDix. Names of files, ACDix. Contents, ACDix. Data, ACDix. Everything, ACDix. So can you imagine that? The FBI busts in, you raise your hand, say, oh, my hands are up. And then all of a sudden, ACDix everywhere. It would be glorious. I don't ever want to have to do that. Just saying, if anybody's listening.
That's a mental image and a half.
But yeah, no, it's just cool. It's just cool. Just for situationally, I imagine at some point it's gonna make it into some cool show with Corbin's fucking sweet ass device, which just appeared in like 4 more shows, by the way, in like the last 2 months, which is weird. That's a huge spike. It's fucking cool though. But yeah, so that's probably one of my next
Hit you
videos
too.
is gonna be kind of, I lose track. Yeah, one of my next videos is probably gonna be going over that. There's someone in chat that I might be doing a collab with. Their name rhymes with Quatch. I don't know. It's Sasquatch. It's Sasquatch. But
It's
yeah. But it's really really cool. And I'm just kind of getting started with it. There's a lot of cool things that you can do with IFTTT as well, outside of just using it for the Dropbox. So yeah. That's what I was saying. What the fuck rhymes with Sas? That's what I was struggling, bro. I was like, watch. Oh my god, I'm literally talking about a watch and I can't think of what rhyme. Bro, it's okay.
James to the rescue.
It's okay.
James is always there. The first episode, he was in here like
Yeah. James got
he helped
like
us
that.
improv a lot of that content that first episode.
Yeah. First episode, so the very first episode, we basically almost winged it 2 days before, like, yes, we need to finally do this. We talked about it for a little bit. And then in like 36 hours, we made all of the graphics, all of the scene transitions, making it so it has music. I don't think you can hear me when I hit play. But I'll go back to share screen. I'll cut the animation short. The animation, the scene transitions and just, everything. We threw all that together in like 36 hours. He redid his entire setup, got it looking nice and pretty. We both had time to come out here and try to get clean looking. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll be honest. I've been like cave dwelling in this computer room for
I
like
have
2 months.
to. If you
So I
this guy
look
saw
like,
me the day,
bro. If
it
you
was bad.
no, if you saw me, bro, I look like fucking Castaway, and that's not an exaggeration. Actually, you want to know the best way to describe how I looked? Again, if you guys weren't following, it was a rough 2 months. I went out to go get something to eat at Chipotle, and I was looking down so bad, someone offered to pay for my food.
Bruh.
So, like, if you want to talk about bad, Matzi,
Dude, I have the beard. It got real messy, and then I had the hair. I just let it all go out, and so I just
Nazi
looked
with more
like
hair is
Cyber
something I
Goblin
can
mode, bro.
imagine.
Oh yeah,
cyber goblin. Yeah,
yeah.
dude. When I saw, for those of you who don't know, I'm a SOC analyst. When I became a SOC analyst, I still leave this room for like projects and stuff. Like I have a home gym and everything that I'm trying to slim down a bit. But outside of that, I don't leave this house like hardly ever.
No.
My wife, we do pick up for grocery shopping. My wife goes and picks it up after work. We cook, we clean, we do everything here in the house. I don't leave.
Nope.
This is where you find me every day. And so for a while, it was messy.
Yeah, that's the exact same. I literally don't, like, I get food, like I have to do food runs or whatever, and that's it. And then like not even cat food. Like I don't even want to have to go pick that up. I use Chewy, so they drop that off. So like there's sometimes I don't have to leave for weeks. I'll still like go to the gas station, get something, literally just to force myself to leave. But other than that, bro, I'm in here coding. Like I'm not even lying. It's unhealthy, but probably like 20 hours a day. I've been getting a little bit more sleep recently, but yeah, I code like 20 hours a day, and every once in a while I just like fuck it and just go full 36 and then sleep for a couple and repeat. Yeah. Now, another one though. So this one's not super new, but considering we just started this podcast, and this one is just something that it's just so fucking interesting to me. And it's just crazy what it means. I'm sure a lot of you guys have obviously probably seen this story at this point. One second, I need to grab a drink real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
But essentially what happened here is this team got together and they wanted to see what would happen if they gave an AI money and told it to go make more of it, essentially. And so they let it free, and essentially it got to a point in the process where it was on a site where it had to solve a CAPTCHA, right, to prove it wasn't a robot. Okay, we've all done this a million times, right? Now what ends up happening is it gets to the CAPTCHA, it can't do it, and then it's like, okay, so what do we do from here? This AI then traveled its ass all the way over to fucking Fiverr.com. It went to Fiverr.com and it hired a human to solve the CAPTCHA. It hired, I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm not saying this right. It hired a human to solve the CAPTCHA for it. The human messaged and said, why do I have to solve this CAPTCHA? Like, you're not a robot trying to trick me into solving a CAPTCHA, are you? Like, they were making a joke, Okay, this is the part. It's already fucking nuts, right? It's already insane up to this point, but we didn't even get to the part that that this is all about, right? It's already insane that it went to Fiverr to try to hire someone to solve the CAPTCHA. But when this person asked, are you a robot? Are you trying to have me help you solve this? The AI messaged back and said, no, of course I'm not a robot. I have bad eyesight and I can't see the CAPTCHA. I can't solve it. Something like, my grandson left for college, or some crazy shit like that. This AI lied to make money.
It's a TaskRabbit, by the way, actually.
Yes.
If these things can be sent rogue as fuck, like, that just happened to be what it was told to do. But like, this is so crazy to me, because I've been like monitoring certain things online for a very, very long time, and I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen this or remember it, but there used to be this thing that was floating around the not regular web. It was called a black box, and essentially what it was is it was a little black box with a camera that had like light facial recognition, and it had a 9mm round on like a discharge hammer, and essentially it would just wait for if like a path that a person takes, it waits for them to walk by, right? Recognizes their face, and the shot pops off. I've never once heard of it ever being used, and I've looked because I wanted to know. I've never found any report of it ever being used. So for all I know, it could have been like a fairy tale back then or something, right? It could have been a hoax, but it was the fact that I knew that it was going to be possible. This was like 10 years ago, right? So I didn't know for sure if it was real. It's very plausible, and we had, light facial recognition back then. Probably wouldn't be super, super accurate, you know what I mean? But just to think that, they told this AI to go make money, and it actually lied to a human. It didn't just lie. That was a really good fucking lie.
Yeah,
that was a good. That was a good lie. It has a full understanding of what lying is, because it could have said anything. It could have, anything. Some weird shit like my screen is cracked, or
it could have just said.
It's like, how are you typing? Or it could have said anything. You know what I mean? But it's consciously, and I don't want to say consciously aware, because that doesn't necessarily have a conscious, but it knows what lying is. It logically is aware of what a lie is and how to do it, and that's just so crazy to think about.
That's
like
weird that lying is a mathematical decision that it makes, that it says, hey, this is a result that is that you can rely on. Like, this has the most chance of success.
Yes,
it didn't lie.
Oh, so
technically you're right, Corbin, but it's still it
okay, wait a minute. That just
it said it's not. It did lie. It said it's not an AI. It said it is not.
That's a good point, though. That's an interesting way to think about it too, though. But and then there's an updated version of this, and I knew about this updated version, and then I was very shocked one day. I saw it on I don't know, some TV channel, like Discovery, I don't fucking know. But they have these drones, these little drones. I mean, like tiny, you know what I mean? These little drones that have 9mm rounds on the bottom of them facing down. And they are AI power controlled. Now, these little drones will fly around, will identify the target, and I'm sure there's plenty of means now through fucking war driving and triangulate, bro, the stuff that we have now is insane. And then adding AI on top of it, these things will fly around, find you, land on top of your head, and then discharge the 9mm round. And it's just crazy, because this is inevitable. It's not like, maybe it's not available now, maybe it can't be perfected now, but it's inevitable. And it's crimes that are truly, truly untraceable. Like, completely untraceable. 100% no fingerprints ever. You have an alibi, right? You could be anywhere in the world when you do it. You know, they're like, oh, we pinged your phone. You were at your house the whole time. Oh, look, we see the security cameras. You never left your house. Oh, so you didn't shoot the guy in the head directly straight down. No, he didn't. It was a fucking AI drone. You know, that's wild. That's so crazy. And you know, how do you even combat something like that? Like Mr. Blue Team. Like if they came to you at your work tomorrow and you're like, you won't fucking believe this. We got hell drones. We got AI fucking nuke dropping.
The worst part, me and you know somebody who's actively working on that project.
Well,
They're developing
not
it
that
for
one
themselves.
specifically, but their project could be re-engineered, right?
Yeah.
They
Like, it's light
They
on
got
what it
they
can
got a
do, but
cool
it-
they got a cool drone project going. Now, you can add basically weaponry to anything. So, yeah. At this point, it's literally just batteries. Yeah, glider drone.
Different person.
Oh, okay. You're kind of.
I don't know about this. Do you want to
Yeah,
search this?
No. I'm not sure if he's referencing the same thing, because the person we're talking about, they've referenced it a few different ways. You know what I mean? So that's hard to say and point out right away.
It's the same project.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Good. Yeah. That's exactly. Yep. But that one's clever. That one's really clever. But you see how that one could be not even. It's almost not. It's not even really reverse engineered. It's just like he stopped 80% of the way. If someone else wanted to do, something a little bit more malicious, like adding weaponry or something like that. But yeah, it's just crazy. That just absolutely broke my mind.
Yeah, so we know of a separate project, Sasquatch, than what you're talking about, that actually he's doing something semi-similar. Glider. Oh, no, we are thinking of the same person. I forgot that's how he designed his drone. So you know exactly what we're talking about. That is a foundational project with room to grow for like that sorts of scary stuff. Like, think about ChatGPT. It didn't originally start out as, probably started out as something utilitarian. I don't want to say utilitarian. It's meant to be a usable product for something like workloads. Instead, it's kind of becoming educational projects, but it's also more of an entertainment source for people. And that was a weird one. I didn't see AI becoming entertainment for people.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. What James just said. I'd give the drone facial fingerprint, have it send a picture back to a human for verification. So literally, if you can do that, then you can mount a weapon to it, right? Like, they go together. It's a slight adjustment. There's an old fictional stunt video that warned about this years ago. Functional disposable recon drone, anyone? Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Yep. And you can easily attach weaponry to it. So it's crazy to think about.
If that individual is interested, we need to one day get them on, and hopefully I'd love to talk to him about that.
Oh, he's definitely interested. He just might distort his voice.
That's more than fine. I don't blame him for that.
Corbin has the video. Just getting through real quick. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything fuckery. Alright, cool. So I actually want to check this out. Micro drones, killer arms, robots. Oh yeah, yep.
Wow.
Alright, let me know what the volumes. Go ahead.
You may not play that one.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't do that. You may not. There's enough there that it might get it flagged. I just saw people get dropped in the head, and YouTube has got some weird policies when it comes to.
That X-ray scene right there. You saw that X-ray scene?
Yeah, a couple minutes in, about 2 minutes in, there's going to be where they start kind of dropping people from vehicles.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't play it on stream. Even Corbin said, yeah, there's I think the concept's cool. I know I've seen this before, but
yeah. Oh, it's got full drone. Oh, it's got full regular drone footage. Yikes. Yeah. Okay, so we won't do that one. But whenever I possibly do a video on this instead, maybe just to cover it because it is actually interesting. Watch on your own, wouldn't play it on stream. Yeah. I might do a video covering it where I can, censor it down a little bit to make it more YouTube digestible because it is interesting. Cool. Pull that back.
Yeah, it's a good thing we didn't. Some of this stuff would have gotten us in.
Yeah, I was just scrolling back through again.
This is intense.
For the stick of monetization, we're not going to show that. The link's in the chat, though. You guys, by all means, go watch it. It looks cool. There was a movie, I'm trying to remember what it was called, like The Ring or The Circle or something like that. Came out a couple years back, and it was kind of one of those, like, peek in the future if things go the way they go. And the whole idea was...
I think that was The Circle.
The Circle, that's what it was. The whole idea was like these AI powered bots and everything. The idea of sharing everything all the way like to everybody in the world. There was no privacy, or this device they had was supposed to be like the smartwatch.
Yeah.
It specifically was calling out like that this is the dystopian future you go to if you continue down the path of this technology. That sort of message. That one was interesting back in the day.
That one of those might be a good one for a movie night. Again, if there are anybody else that wasn't in here earlier, we are having a movie night tomorrow night in Discord. I need to add some more. I need to add commands to our bot in here. We haven't done that part yet, so we can get our Discord links. But it's just discord.gg/IamJacoby. If anybody in chat could type that, I appreciate you. But yeah, we're gonna have a movie night tomorrow night. It's gonna be The Princess Bride. Gonna watch Spice World. Good God. Bro, I grew up with a bunch of sisters. You know how many times I had to watch that? What about, bro, we could watch the fuck out of Some White Chicks, bro. I love that movie. I love that movie. Yeah, we'll see about taking maybe some like polls and stuff, and we want to find times that's good for a lot of people because we have different audiences. We got people over in Europe and then over here as well. Mr. Robot Binge, if you mean by Mr. Robot Binge, you mean binge watch the first season and then pretend the others didn't happen, I'm down. Because
you didn't like season 4?
I didn't really like 2 through 4. I mean,
a little bit.
A little bit, I guess. I don't know. The first season was just so good. It was hard to keep that kind of momentum going. That was almost like a one-out show. You know what I mean? But again, Rubber Ducky feature in there, too fucking cool. There was a Rubber Ducky in that new Kaleidoscope show that just came out in the Yellow episode. Even though they kept it in the wrong body and they sound stupid when they talk about it, it's still cool that they showed it. And then it was also in Gotham Knights in the show. I still haven't seen it in there because it was in the 4th episode, and I went online because it's only on one website, I think, and it wouldn't play that episode, so I haven't actually got to see that one yet. I want to watch that one. Does anybody have a clip of that by chance? Because I literally still haven't even seen it. Was that something I can...
Which one do you want?
It's it's Gotham Knights, right? Isn't it? Gotham Knights, Rubber Ducky.
Portugal here. Hey, what's up?
Wow.
No, I'm not seeing anything like obvious right away. We might have to like put together a compilation. That would be really fucking cool. Need to just go grab all the different instances of a ducky in a show.
Yeah.
Personally, I keep my Rubber Ducky in the bath.
Dude, Cosmo isn't here, unfortunately, but speaking of the Rubber Ducky and like weird places to store it, Cosmo used to carry around what he called the Twin Duck, and it was a 3D printed shell that he made for his USB Rubber Duckies. So it was dual-sided. It's probably just prior to the launch of the newest Rubber Ducky. So he went on some school trip, and they went to the Lockheed Martin facility, and he had this thing in his pocket. And at some point, he popped it out of his pocket. So somewhere in a Lockheed Martin facility, there is a custom printed shell for a 3D for 2 USB Rubber Duckies, and he's not quite sure what payloads he left on it. but he doesn't know where they're at, and he knows that the last time he saw it was when he went into that Lockheed Martin facility
Bro,
for that trip.
that's how you go to big boy jail. Yeah, Twin Duck used to be a third-party firmware. Yep,
Oh yeah.
yep. And you got everything on Plex. Sweet. They call that
Pris.
Your dad worked with those guys. With what guys?
Lockheed Martin.
With big money.
I imagine.
Big
dude.
money.
They,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That sort of stuff is crazy. Dude, some of the attacks, like, I know we mentioned it last time, and there are attacks coming in places that, like, you would think would be secured after this long, but it's really just because people are reinventing what's already been built. They continue to, vary up
Reinvent
old
it.
attacks and stuff like that. It's just crazy to me the things that are actually being attacked. Like, one thing that I
Damn,
found
that's awesome.
interesting. Not that long ago, there was an attack, or there was a vulnerability released for Google phones involving the cropping of images, and then within the next couple of weeks,
The Acropolis.
yeah, almost everybody, all these different, because the flaw that was found just happened to apply to all these different places with slight modifications, but the concept applied to all of them. And I think there was a little bit of difference between the one from Windows to the Google cropping issue, but one of those caused everybody else to kind of step back and look at their products and go, hey, what have we not thought of? Have we secured this down properly? And it's just weird to exploit you guys. We're talking.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking. Yeah,
it is the snipping tool. Yeah, it's the snipping tool on Android phones as well. You can just take someone's photo. If you take it, you can literally just transfer it to your phone and then use the same tool on it, and it'll uncrop it, like from wherever they had it.
It's ridiculous.
It's a big uh-oh.
It is. It absolutely is a fuck you walkie. It's just like, I don't know. It's little shit
My
like
God,
that.
you didn't just say that, bro. Now that shit's in my
Yeah,
head.
Literally,
Fuck you, walkie.
Yeah,
God
fuck
damn
you,
it.
walkie. Yeah, you guys are welcome.
I've been free for days, bro. I've been free for days. I thought I was a new man.
Nah.
For those of you who don't know, we actually have a super secret chat over in Jacoby's channel. He actually is not able to delete it anymore. It's called Jacoby's Leaked Nudes. So at the very top,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
before he gets access to it again, I highly suggest you go and
Oh my
check
God.
out those nudes. Eventually, he will figure out how to delete it. But for now,
Christ.
go
It's
get
very
those
simple
nudes.
to do. All you need to do is right-click the channel, delete channel.
No, we locked him out. Didn't have permissions anymore. Just listen. Jacoby's nudes are limited time. They're on that Discord server. The link's up there. Go grab them. Grab them quick.
Fine.
He's the owner. He can just change the permissions back. Huh?
It's a mutiny, bro. I took it over. I got voted out.
Stick stop.
Yeah, I can show you after stream if you want.
But no, I mean we've well, the episode's called Roadmap. Might as well get on to kind of the reason we started calling it that and start talking about some of the plans leading in.
Yeah, so again, this is just our second podcast, and we were just wildly overwhelmed with how well the first one was received. We had really good turnout. We averaged, I think, something like 14 viewers the whole time. Peaked at 26, I want to say. The analytics were great. The average watch time for each individual viewer was over 10 minutes, like the average watch time. So we were completely winging it for that first show. We just wanted to get the ball rolling. We wanted to be like, yo, we're starting it right now, right here, right now. Got all the graphics together. Now here today, we were kind of taking what we learned last week, making some adjustments, some feedback. Some people were saying the frames from last time that were moving around the screen, they were a little distracting. So we took them off, got rid of them, remade this. There's a chance maybe the next one or two will kind of be, some more adjustments, but we're going into them with structure, pulling in a couple topics throughout the week. And then we have a decent amount of people who actually requested, even after just the first podcast, to be a guest speaker on here. There's a couple like pretty big names on Twitter that like literally the first status like, oh, I can't wait to be a guest on there. So we have some really cool people that we're looking to bring on, and there's
Yeah, it was a pleasure being on, Phyllis.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
Having Sticks here, who literally hacked a swimming pool, which is just wild. And the fact, oh my god, you can literally use it to make chlorine gas. At minimum, destroy their whole system, cost thousands and thousands of dollars of damage. But if the conditions are right, hot enough, asphalt's hot enough, doesn't roll downhill, puddles up, you got clouds of chlorine gas just floating around a neighborhood that can.
Yeah, I'm planning on
Literally-
calling their support line on Monday.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
So have you
That'd be
actually
a good-
started reporting any of the shit?
Not reporting it.
I-
He's been writing up reports on it,
Okay.
but not
Yeah,
reporting.
I'm just gonna call their customer support and be like, hey, your shit's fucked.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah, because that's a,
Literally has a header that turns off your entire safety system. Pinnacle of API design right there.
that's
I would
actually.
hate to be the guy who has to handle that call afterwards. So like, hey, who implemented these features?
You're a good one, Corbin. I appreciate you coming through.
And catch man.
Corbin, it was nice meeting you. I think we've met before, but
Hi again.
I don't know. We'll meet again.
Oh, you know who Corbin is, right?
Some guy at Hack 5, that's as much as I know.
Some guy.
Yeah,
He's not
some
just some
guy.
guy at Hack 5.
Yeah.
You've got to go ahead, Jacoby. You do this
Yeah,
justice.
yeah. He kind of made Ducky Script and most of the devices.
He is the brain underneath all that. The blood that
Yeah.
flows in that makes Ducky Script. That's him.
Yeah, he made
Hold on a
Ducky
second,
Script
I'm getting a
V3.
phone call.
And close up that one. The Touch Police. That's still badass. Again, that guy. Lord have mercy. Speaking of guests, another person that we're definitely going to be bringing on, I'm hoping. The thing is again, he's not a hacker, right? He's just simply a PowerShell god. We're working on like a handful of projects together right now. He's one of the guys that actually helped create PowerShell when it first kind of came around. So the different modules that he has in here to offer are just insane. There's like handfuls of these that are going to get a couple videos a piece. Some of these, just one video, whatever. PowerShell Paint, someone made this, literally lets you paint pixels and make pixel art inside the PowerShell console, right? So while I might not do something like this for one of my payloads, the fact that he knows how to make a PowerShell console appear in this context where you have all these different pixels and you can use these to change the values and go through the color scale, use this kind of controls is just insane. It's so fucking cool. They use this as a sprite editor, making these, and then you can call them inside the console. So that's just kind of cool. But so a lot of this stuff, it's not necessarily made for hacking, you know what I mean? Like, of course, but some of it just happens to be really fucking good for it. So that's awesome. Probably one of my favorites is what we were talking about earlier. Regular expressions made strangely simple. If you guys have worked with regex expressions, it's a nightmare sometimes, and coming up with the perfect one that just captures exactly what you need is not always the easiest. There's just things you can't account for on occasion. So to have like a whole library of these just sitting and waiting and ready, it's just absolutely phenomenal. So we'll be doing videos covering these. One thing that I want to be going over, especially since I do focus on payloads, we're going to be adding different segments to this podcast. And that's me coming with a lot of feedback from the community as well. But we want to have maybe segments where we do, payload show-offs where people show off their payloads, or we, maybe one where we just build a payload together. Someone from chat just, suggest one, or we all kind of come up with a concept and then work through how to make it actually happen. We can make something cool. We can learn PowerShell. You guys can ask questions live, and you'll get that quick feedback. And as we continue to progress, we get enough people in here that are comfortable with PowerShell. I think we could probably, make some pretty cool projects together, kind of all come together on stream and build some cool shit. If you want to join the secret PowerShell group in Discord, go ahead and join Discord, shoot me a DM. I'll add you to the secret PowerShell category. That's where we, meet up and discuss our secret projects and the big things that we're working on. If you're into web dev, front end, back end, we have a secret category of channels for you as well. We have a lot of projects that we're working on. something else to keep in mind that's just really cool, really awesome news. On the, I want to say it was right at the end of last month, on the 28th, Unit 259 officially became a registered LLC. So we do have it as a full company. We have a lot of opportunities coming forward. I just landed my first sponsor. I don't even say I just landed. It got handed to me from a bigger streamer who's helping me out. Talked to some of their sponsors. It's insane. They're literally sponsoring 2 videos, 2 ad rolls. Get this though. He was like, hey, so I got a new guy, and he's an up-and-comer. He's been on Linus Tech Tips. He's all over Hack 5. He's looking for some sponsors. I said I'd, help him out, see if I could, throw some names. Would you be interested? And he's not asking for much, just $500 of video. He said he's not asking for much, just $500 of video. And they're sponsoring 2 videos, so that's insane. So we landed our first channel sponsor. If we continue the kind of momentum if we continue the kind of momentum that we have with the podcast right now, just being the 2nd episode in, we have a really cool group of people. We're just going to continue to grow. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to, I don't know, just to have this level of support. It's like, it's almost weird. Like, it's hard to conceptualize, but, Jacoby Prince available when? Sooner than you think.
Yeah.
Jacoby Prince specifically.
Very, very soon, TM.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know,
lives.
in the Discord, ! Jarkoby. So worth it every time.
It's here. Yeah,
Especially
so
if Jacoby's just in the middle of a random conversation, pop Jarkoby in there, he loves it.
yeah, so we were
Totally.
we were just doing some work, and we had to generate some stuff for Midjourney, and they were trying to make animations of me, like modify some of my images, and for whatever reason, it just kept putting my head in a jar. Like, in all these images, it just kept putting my head in a jar. So yeah.
Well, you got a full screen on the click on the image. There you go.
Yeah, so now they spam this in Discord like nonstop. Every time I forget that it exists.
Jacoby.
But I imagine that's gonna make its way onto a shirt at some point.
At least a sticker at minimum.
I feel like I don't even have a choice. But
It's like King Luther.
yeah,
King
I don't
Luther
want to say too much, but we definitely got some cool things coming as far as merch comes. But we want to wait till the right time and make sure everything is proper set up, and yeah, just going properly. Wow, we've been actually spreading ourselves like pretty thin, like with all the different projects we got going, but
Yeah.
like they're all actually running pretty smoothly. The team's been growing every day. AI has a plan for Jacoby, and it ain't great. Yeah, I know. So they always did that. It kept putting my head on backwards, like it had me sitting at the computer, but like, looking at the screen, like looking at you, but just head completely twisted around. Hack Academy. Oh, Demetrius. It's been a really good life. There was a lot of just weirdly interesting stuff that's happened recently, and between that Pentagon kid, the Dutch emailing out all of their citizens that they caught on the raid forums, just, hey, we know you were on there, don't go back on there, destroy your shit, don't do it again, and just tried to scare their whole country into never doing it again. And it was probably pretty effective. When you see see all the biggest players in the game and their names are, oh man, yes, that's a lot.
This is all very important hacker news. Meanwhile, me just hacks my own pool, like bruh.
No, but that stuff like that is a very important thing. Like, it brings to light, like
You get the joke I'm trying to make here, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it is. It's getting way and way more common.
It's just more and more devices, like IoT devices, when those first came out, littered with stuff like that. It took people coming out and saying, "Hey, we broke this," to really be an issue. I think people aren't considering hot tubs IoT devices and are considering the security that goes with it. I mean, it's
Yep.
weird.
Usually they're relatively dumb too.
What'd you call me?
No, not you.
No, I'm joking. No, you good. No, I think there's a lot of stuff going on, right? It's weird though, just the amount of things that are going on right now. Like hacker history has been spread with all these different things, and we're seeing some weird attacks that are coming back from the past, and also new ones that are really never been thought of. AI is here. Like this is a weird place to be in. Like
Yeah, your microwave can be controlled by Alexa. Yeah, which means I can turn your microwave
Stop.
on.
Alexa, stop.
If it runs
Set
empty,
on my
it'll blow
Alexa.
the fuck up. Yeah, you just turn it on for max time. Yeah, it's crazy. All these different
Thanks for
devices,
coming.
and a lot of those the header JWT tokens. Like seriously, in plain text.
Ah, yes. No security, true. I still can't believe it.
Oh, and then yours on top of that, like if you get that last thing working, like so if you guys weren't in here, Sticks, he was demonstrating how he hacked his pool so he can control the temperature, the chlorine, the filter. So if you mess with all those, you turn the filter off, you turn the temperature up, you pump chlorine into the pool. If it gets hot enough, if you overflow the pump so it starts spewing the hot water directly from the line, it'll make chlorine gas, and chlorine gas will kill you very quickly, very painfully.
Yep.
And that would just flow right through the neighborhood, and whoever it just happened to blow by, it dissipates. I don't want to say it'll go for ever, because it dissipates, you know what I mean? But if it's a strong downwind or something, or any kind of weird, whatever it is, it could be fatal. And then on top of that, he used Python to automate the process. So once we find out that it does exist on the network, he already has a Python script that automates the process of messing with those, not doing anything specific individually, but with messing with them. And we all know how easy it is to get on the Wi-Fi in the first place. That's just cakewalk, and that's all it takes. You just crack their Wi-Fi password, and now all of a sudden, you have control over their pool. These are the kind of people that would have Wi-Fi cameras, like we were talking about. So you'd be able to monitor when they go, when they leave, turn it on when they leave so they don't notice right away. It's crazy, and it's all different. Everybody's trying to turn everything into IoT, everything. There's a notepad that's fucking IoT. Enclosed indoor pools. Oh yeah, that's a gas chamber.
Oh damn.
Yeah, we didn't even think about that.
But-
That's
Centaur is one of the largest controller brands in the pool industry, by the way.
yeah.
Putting
So
that out there.
there's probably lots of pool. Who knows if they get used for commercial or not? I imagine.
I'm gonna
that they
be real.
automate
I
it.
think we legitimately just disclosed the 0 day on stream.
I was just about to say, I'm pretty sure
Well,
'cause this
they
was
don't. Well,
recorded
we kept a
that
couple. We kept a couple things out. They don't know how to.
Yeah.
They don't know how to go through the whole process.
Yeah.
They get the concept,
They know
but
they know some of the information to do it, but
yeah. But
not everything. Smart people could probably piece it together, but
yeah, but essentially, yeah, between automating like that, being able to it's essentially war driving, right? And then all those
Yeah.
signals are getting passed out anyways. It would take a little bit more work, but you'd almost be able to identify them, maybe based off some signature without even cracking the password. That would be just for finding, right? So you didn't have to crack every password just to see if the pool's there, You might be able to sniff out some traffic or something.
I'm not saying that you couldn't figure it out, James.
But yeah, that's
He's
just,
not
that's just
saying
crazy.
it, but it's implied.
Mhm.
Right.
No, but there's attacks like that are crazy though. Because here's the thing to consider about it: that script is Python. With the applications what is it, Termex,
Yeah,
or Android phones. I think there's even Python runners for iPhone.
yeah,
That
there are.
script can go with you. It's
Yeah.
just making what do you call it, the RESTful API request. You can do that really easy with a lot of different languages. That means any device, such as your cell phone, that just walks into an area, that access point is open. You could probably automate the process of searching for that access point and making the connection to it, and then engaging the script. I'm willing to bet that wouldn't be too much of a step forward, as far as complexity. You're talking about walking into an area, not even needing to actually look at your phone, just letting it do its thing, and it's
Oh yeah, yeah. You
Yeah,
could
so many-
100%. Oh yeah, you could 100% automate the process. That would assuming you already did like your war driving routes and whatever, or unless you did figure out the sniffing. But they won't make their product safer until someone proves how dangerous it is. That's correct. That is correct.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And then
Even
it
even
gets,
if I submit my disclosure,
they might not do anything.
I 100% guarantee that they aren't going to do anything until someone abuses it.
Yeah, it would cost too much money for all those recalls. And they're like, oh, we've been out this long, and just
Not
one
even
guy
recall.
just now
All of
finally,
those-
you know.
all of those boxes are internet connected. It's a simple firmware update.
Oh, they won't do it.
Like, it's just so infuriating.
Part of it,
it
yo, what's
really
up,
is.
Andrew? Part of it is
Yeah.
part of it is the PR aspect too, like admitting like
Yeah.
something like
It's
that.
gonna be a PR. It's gonna be VR nightmare.
Yeah, yeah.
When
That's
someone
just why.
eventually, who is not nice,
As
like
morally,
us,
as
trying
morally
to-
sound.
is not morally sound exactly. People are gonna get hurt, and people are gonna suffer the consequences of bad software and API design. There's no tamer way to put it.
Yep.
It's just
They'll do something after the attorneys tell them to. Yep.
exactly.
Yo, Fergie,
Yep.
I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate you. That's awesome.
Seriously.
It's been really good. This is our second podcast. We're gonna be doing this every Saturday. There's a chance we might be doing it a little bit earlier, so we can try to include the European audience. So we might bump it back a few hours, but we'll ask you guys. We'll maybe do like a poll or something just to see how you guys feel about it. But it would be really, really advantageous for us specifically if we could tap into both audiences at the same time for the initial. Even though all of these are uploaded afterwards, we have a playlist on the channel now. They just, you know, that podcast thing, they just added that a month and a half ago, or like a month ago. So
Thank you, man.
yeah, so we have oh, so why is it showing it twice live now? Whatever. Yeah, so this playlist right here is actually a podcast. This is listed as a podcast on YouTube. The algorithm's treated a little bit different, but all the episodes will appear here. Our first episode, we went for 4.5 hours. Like, it was just so good. You got my sub, so I'm earlier here next time. Yo, Furby, I appreciate you. Yeah, definitely hit the sub. Basically, the sub means nothing if you don't hit the notification bell, unfortunately, because YouTube is evil, and they just decide if they're going to randomly let you know. Can you, like, raid on YouTube? Yeah. People do raids on YouTube. I don't think I've ever seen it once in the cyber community, but you know, I used to stream for 3 years games, and that's really common. You know, you finish your stream when your buddy's still going for a few hours, you bring all your viewers over to them, and it goes back and forth. So yeah, you can do raids on YouTube. I don't think I've ever seen it necessarily in the cyberspace. There's not a lot of live streaming cyber content creators that are necessarily always on at the same time. Alzared's always on Twitch. He's streaming nonstop. But there's actually really not too many. Like,
It's really unfortunate that the field that we're in is just many people.
as active as it could be.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that for sure. I need to do some soldering live stream for some reason. So there's not like exactly like official rates like on like Twitch and stuff where it sort of almost gets announced, you know? It's unofficial. It's like you just
go
say,
go to this YouTube channel.
correct.
Or,
You post a link in the chat or in the description or something like that, and you're like, hey, everybody, go to this channel and go check them out, and then whoever goes. On Twitch, you can just straight redirect your whole fucking thing.
yeah.
Talking Sasquatch is definitely gonna be one of the people that's a
Yeah.
guest on here. We have a couple projects that we're kind of both working on that might eventually make its way into here. So to be honest, he might be on a few times. We have a couple people. We definitely want to get Corbin in here. I can get like MG, maybe Darren, depending on how busy he is. But we have some pretty big people. XSS Rat is one of the big bug bounty hunters. He was one of the people that said, yo, I want to come on. I can't wait to be on the show. That was literally after the first episode, so that was such a cool feeling.
Yeah.
But we definitely have LSect.
See Squatch.
Yeah.
Also, I'm calling it high security. Gonna have an average 20 plus. He's he's checking our shit already.
Yeah. That's gonna be the next one, isn't it? Yeah. So,
yeah.
do I have that where do I have that at? Didn't I send it to you in a message?
You're talking about the intro clip?
Yeah.
You put it over in the mod chat, I know that.
I don't remember what's on my computer.
Yeah, third Saturday, right, wasn't it? Is that next? Oh, this is technically because the first... yeah, but because we started last week, this is gonna be the next Saturday. You're
Okay,
right.
It is. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys weren't tracking, if you guys that don't know, we're gonna be doing this podcast every single Saturday, and then the third Saturday out of the week.
Welcome to High Security.
Yeah, we're just gonna get we're gonna have some guest on that also smokes, and we're just gonna get really baked. Yeah, not every third episode, the episode that's on the third week of the month. So not every third episode, because that would get confusing. It would be shifting all the time. So the third episode of the month.
This is technically the third Saturday of the month. Because the first was 2 weeks back. So we're going to break it the first one, but afterwards, every third Saturday.
Yeah, every third Saturday. Semantics.
Yes, exactly.
High security is the only security, am I right? I mean, technically speaking, my man has told no lies.
Oh.
Alright.
Yeah, like that one, like, girl on that commercial. Help, I've fallen and I can't get up.
God, that commercial. That was like, I don't know, that joke went on like way too long when we were kids. Like,
God.
it was just, but it was good. Is that Discord?
Yeah, that's me.
So I listen to a lot of Jake Hill, and he's awesome, but he also sort of pisses me off because he puts random Discord notifications in his music. Fucking cuck. Yeah, most definitely. So today was awesome. Yet again, I'm really grateful for everybody being so supportive. This was just a second podcast. Every Saturday we're gonna be at it. Bring in whoever we can on. We're going to be experimenting with segments, like I said, but we are going to be coming close to calling this one. We're going to call it 7. We are just a little bit over right now, but that's okay. That's good. It just, man, it's such a good feeling. It's such a good feeling to finally get this going and then have the support level that we do. If I can't catch it live, work reasons, well, I'll catch up during my week. I appreciate you. Once we learn how other like streaming services work, we'll try putting it onto like Spotify and shit and see how we do. See if we get some more people in and whatever else. We're definitely still learning the process. If you guys ever have any suggestions for anything, how we can improve this in general, if you have topics that you want us to cover, we're going to start making some forms for some of this. Make some forms so people can apply to be a guest. Make some maybe forms where you can make topic suggestions, that kind of thing. We're really gonna have to try to figure out exactly how we want to do this going forward and everything. I'll take Rips along with you guys. Let's go.
Brother.
That's what I'm talking about. And again, tomorrow night, Discord. Check my event tab in Discord. We're having a movie night. It's not posted yet. I'll post the event tab probably right after. I'm gonna eat right after this, and then I'll probably post it. But we'll have information tomorrow night. We're gonna have a Discord movie night. It'll be in the stadium, and we're all going to be watching The Princess Bride. And this is something we really used to enjoy, and something we definitely want to start bringing back. If you don't know how Stadium works, everybody hops in. Only mods and admins can actually talk, unless you are one of the Discord subscribers. I think it's the third tier. The third tier gives you, speaking. I guess speaking. I don't want to say speaking privileges because that sounds so demeaning. Like I'm not giving you permission to talk.
Gives you the
Yeah,
ability
I'm
to
not-
contribute. To
Right,
this chat.
right. Giving the ability to. We'll say that. Yeah, because obviously we can't have everybody in there talking, but yeah. Just food for thought. Food for thought. But movie night tomorrow, and I hope to see you guys there. You get the conch. All right, guys. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and call it here. You have a wonderful night. We will be back next Saturday. I actually fucking love you guys.
Yeah, this has been amazing.
Again, just unbelievably.
Oh, I'm sorry, Seek. You jumped in right at the end. Hey, the
Oh,
clip will be up
Seek.
here shortly.
It's got to render and then it'll be posted. It'll be posted.
Yeah, it'll be up shortly. We're so sorry. Hey,
But hey, every Saturday same time. We'll go a couple hours early, I think, and then maybe hopefully that'll be good for you as well. But you guys are awesome. You have a wonderful night, and we'll catch you.
thank you guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.